Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the video. Now, this is going to be a relatively short video. As everyone knows, the RX 6800 and RX 6800 XT launched today, and just like every other launch before it, whether it be the Ryzen launch, the NVIDIA card launches, this one became an absolute shit show. Now, in terms of stock and availability, I'm only going to speak on North America as that's what I have the most access to. I don't really look into other countries in terms of stock. I just know North America is a leading buyer of a lot of these cards. And from what I've seen on Twitter and a few other outlets, the stock was pretty dismal, which was something that was odd because AMD had been leading up to this launch stating that stock was going to be much better than what everyone thought it was going to be. They had thrown a lot of shade at NVIDIA over the last month or so since their launch, with them not being able to keep enough graphics cards, and then in turn did the exact same thing with these graphics cards. Now, if you hadn't looked at any of this stuff from the post I'm seeing on Twitter, I'm going to use Micro Center as an example here. People are saying that many of the Micro Centers they went to only got anywhere between 2 cards, 5 cards. I think I saw 1 or 2 people say that their Micro Center got 10 cards. Keep in mind, Micro Center is a large retailer of cards, at least on the East Coast, and then I think they have some kind of peppered out west. I think they have 25 or 26 locations altogether. I didn't really see any post up on BestBuy.com. I haven't seen anyone state yet that they were able to purchase anything from Best Buy. When I looked at the site earlier, it did say coming soon, so they may not have gotten any at all. AMD's website was plagued with crashing, things just like normal, just like with the Ryzen launch, and many people did not get their cards. Now, from all the information I've gathered so far, this launch looks like it may have even been worse than NVIDIA's, and there's a few attributing factors to that. First and foremost is the fact that Hardware Canucks was able to put a tweet up that they had where apparently AMD was sending out notices to their red team, whatever red team is. I guess it's some members only club that AMD has, where those members were able to purchase these cards early with a special link before they went on sale to the general public, as well as some content creators and media influencers. Now, one of the other bits of drama you have is that Frank Azor, who is one of the developers for AMD, as well as one of the co-founders of Alienware, made a tweet this morning posting that he was able to purchase one and put a screenshot up. Now, where a lot of people are disgusted with that is number one, he works for AMD, is one of their lead developers, so he probably didn't have to go out and buy one. A lot of people wonder if the screenshot he posted was using one of the special links and wasn't actually done this morning during the chaos, since so many people reported not being able to get one. And then the other thing this really does is, as low stock as these cards were, one of the few people in the world who probably didn't need one and was just buying it for the sake of buying it, bought it and then posted it to a community who wanted these cards and couldn't get them. Now, me personally, I'm not really upset that they ran out of cards. I mean, it was something that most of us knew was going to happen. I mean, with the pandemic going on, it's hard to get parts to build these cards, especially with AMD also sourcing out parts for the new Xbox, as well as the new PS5. They've kind of pulled themselves a little thin, trying to source out all these things. So it's not a surprise that stock ended up the way it was. The problem is that they had been boasting, as far back as 6 to 7 months ago, that they were going to make plenty for this launch, that they weren't going to have any issues. They were throwing shade at NVIDIA because NVIDIA didn't have enough cards. And then they turned around and pretty much, at least United States wise, had another paper launch. Now, as bad as I thought the AMD Ryzen launch was, this one is far, far worse because not many people really reported on the lack of chips on the Ryzen launch. I know myself and a few others, PCMag.com did an article on it, but not many people really spoke on it. This go around, I'm seeing, many of the big content creators that are on Twitter, kind of making comments in regards to how this launch went. More of it is kind of in the same way that I am. More upset that AMD was throwing shade at NVIDIA and making all these boastful comments and then didn't really come through. So it kind of made them look like a bunch of asses, for being so arrogant, for making these comments and then kind of letting their customer base down. Now, if you were somebody who got one of these cards, please let me know down in the comments below. I would love to see, as far as other countries go, like what your availability was. If you're in the United States, I'd also like to know where you got one from. I know Micro Center, like I said, at least from what the counts are, maybe 200 people across all of Micro Centers possibly got cards. If you're able to get an order put through on the website, let me know. Also, please share what stories you have in terms of why you weren't able to get one and just how you feel about everything. Now, that's really all I have to say about this. I wasn't actively trying to get one of these cards because I was able to acquire 3080 during that launch. But I was hoping, you know, for the sake of competition, that this launch would have gone much smoother. I was kind of hoping that's why they had taken the extra time to put this out, is that they were going to really have the cards ready to have more out there for people, because they could have absolutely cleaned up with so many people who couldn't get 30 series cards from Nvidia. You have a lot of people out there really clamoring to get a graphics card, and after all the benchmarks for these cards came out, to see the 6800 XT being so competitive with the 3080 at a little bit lower of a price seemed extremely positive for AMD, because they made up a lot of ground from last year's cards to this year's cards. It's just unfortunate that this is kind of the way that it ended up. As always, if you like the video, please hit that thumbs up button, as it helps the channel greatly. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that bell notification. And that way you get alerts on any future videos that I do. And with that being said, until next time.